Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's so great to have you guys back. So in this video, I wanted to go over just a very simple look for me, which is my everyday makeup look. I've been going for a more natural, glowy look lately, which I've been really loving. So I wanted to share with you what I do on a daily basis and what my favorite products are for a daily basis. So if you guys want to know how to get this natural, glowy look, then let's just get into it. All right, so here we are, fresh face. So now I always start with putting a little bit of moisturizer on. Right now I'm using the Caudalie Vinosource moisturizer, which is good because it's super light. For the winter, this is nowhere enough moisture for me, but for the summer it's good because I only need light moisture because it's so humid and I'm so sweaty all day. And I've been lately using SPF. I'm 25, I now live in Spain because I grew up in England where the sun isn't very strong, but now I know I need to wake up. So I always put these two things on now after the shower. And then I let that kind of sink in for a couple of minutes before I go on to my makeup. Now for makeup, I usually do my makeup super quick, like 5 to 7 minutes. I usually actually do it in the car, so I need to be super efficient and quick with every single step that I do because I normally don't have very much time. So I will always go in first with a little bit of concealer. I love the Nars Creamy Concealer. It's just my favorite concealer. It's super great coverage and it looks great on my dry skin. Like, it doesn't look patchy or cakey ever. It's so good. So what I do is I always put it on my eyelids to firstly cover up my veiny eyelids because I do have very veiny lids, but also it's a great base to then go in with my eyeshadow that I'm going to apply. So I just blend this in super roughly. Now, if you do have pimples that you want to cover, right now would be the time to conceal that as well. At least I put it underneath my foundation so that the color matching doesn't have to be exact. But I do have some pimples here and some scarring from pimples that I had last week, but I'm not going to cover them with concealer because I quite like them to show through a little bit. It's a weird thing of mine, but I like it to look a little bit more natural. So I'm not going to put concealer on now. If I have a really big one, I will, but these don't bother me too much. Now that I have this sticky base on my eyelids, I go straight into eyeshadow. So I'm going to start with my highlighter. I don't actually carry eyeshadow with me on a daily basis because that's too many products for me. So I actually just use my face stuff on my eyes as well. So I'm going in with my Laura Mercier. This is a matte Radiance Baked Powder in Highlight 01. This is my favorite highlighter ever. And what I do is I just pack this on all over the lid. This does not have to be precise whatsoever. I put it all over the lid, and sometimes I'll even take it up to the brow for a little bit of brow highlight, but this isn't like a shine from space that you can see. It's like a super natural glow. Oh, I love this stuff, and as an eyeshadow, it is gorgeous. And now I go in with my bronzer. So the same bronzer that I'm going to use on my face, which is the Bobbi Brown Bronzing Powder in Natural 1. This is what I use in my crease as my contour shade for my eyeshadow. So I just take a fluffy brush. I have this dual-ended brush from Smashbox that I got in a palette, which is really good and handy because then it's less brushes on a daily basis. But whatever fluffy brush, and I will just first pack this on my outer corner, and then whatever's left on the brush, I just sweep it all across the crease to give me a little bit of contour. And I love this look. This is it. This is all you need for a very basic eyeshadow look, which makes you look a lot more put together. So I'm just going to do the same on the other eye, and I will be right back. Okay, so there we have the eyes almost done. So I do normally curl my eyelashes, although this is something I can totally skip if I don't have time that day. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes before I put on my mascara. Now I'm using this mascara right now, which is from Essence. It's the Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara. It's like €5. I get it here in Spain, and it is so good. So good. For a cheap drugstore one, it is great. I actually really only use drugstore mascaras because I just cannot fathom how a €30 mascara is actually worth it, especially because they dry out so quickly. So that's it. That's my mascara on, and on a daily basis I'll keep it quite natural so I don't have to load on too much mascara, but if I do feel a little bit more fancy, then I will put on a couple layers of mascara. And as you can see, I have just transferred mascara onto my lid. That is fine, it happens to me most mornings. So we're gonna let that dry, which is one of the reasons why I do mascara so early on in my routine. We're gonna let that dry completely and then we're just gonna scrape it off. But do not touch it while it's wet. That's the biggest mistake you can do. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my foundation. I have been using the CC cream. On a daily basis, I don't like to use foundation, which can be quite heavy and not so great for your skin. So I have really been liking the CC cream by Cosmetics. It also has a really good SPF because I have gone out on a boat all day and only used this as SPF, which I know is probably like one of the worst things you can do for your skin, but I just used my makeup SPF to cover me and it actually freaking worked. So I just dot this all over my face. Normally on a daily basis, I don't actually put foundation everywhere. I just kind of put it around my chin, my nose, my cheeks where I actually need the coverage. But this foundation, I got the wrong color. I got light medium and I'm actually light. So it's a little bit dark for me. So I have to kind of put it everywhere. Like normally I wouldn't put foundation here because my skin is good there. But anyway, I have to even it out or else I'm gonna look like a crazy patchy Oompa Loompa. All right, so that is it for my foundation. Now what I like to do is I go in with cream products under my powder products to make sure that it lasts longer. So I will go in with my cream bronzer, which I actually just use a cushion foundation from Sephora in a darker shade. This is in the shade Bronze. I love this stuff for cream bronzing, actually. I think it's really, really good. So I will just dot this along where I bronze. So around my cheekbone, on my nose, and I will always bronze my forehead. That to me is the most important thing to bronze. I have quite a big forehead, so if I just bronze that up, it contours my forehead and makes it look a little bit smaller. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'll just bring it down on my jawline to make everything look even. Then I go in with my cream blush. So right now I'm using this little mini one from Mercier that I got in a kit. It's the Peach Glow Cream Bronzer. It's a really nice color. And I will just dot that on my cheeks. And I like to put a little bit on my nose. This has been like my favorite trick lately this summer, is to put blush on like the middle bridge of your nose. It looks so good. It looks like you've actually been hit by the sun, kissed by the sun, and it looks so, so natural. And then whatever's left on my brush from that cream blush, I will put it on my temples. So this just kind of blends everything in and makes you look more natural. Now I feel like I want to go in with a little bit of powder. Normally, like in the winter, I don't powder my whole face. I'll just kind of powder my under eyes, which is what gets crazy during the day. But the summer has hit me hard. It is so humid. I am so sweaty constantly. So I do feel like I have to powder. I will do my chin. I'll do my nose. That gets a little bit oily. My forehead as well gets oily. Under my eyes is important because that's where my concealer tends to crease. And I'm just gonna do a little bit underneath here, but I'm not going to powder where I put bronzer, blush, because I'm going to use a powder, bronzer, and blush. So that's already gonna help me with the oil control. I personally don't need powder everywhere, and I like that it kind of seeps in and has a little bit more of a natural glow. Now let's go in with the powder, blush, bronzer, and highlighter. So I'm going to use, oh, by the way, the powder that I used on my face was the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish Natural in Light. I love this powder. This is a really old one. It's the old packaging, but that powder is really, really good. Now I'm going in with my Bobbi Brown Nectar blush. I love this blush so much. I've had it in my collection for so long, and I just recently brought it out again this summer, and it's the perfect, perfect summer shade. So I will just kind of dot this on my cheeks and I'll bring it up towards my cheekbone. I'll put a little bit on my nose, and I like to get a little bit on the tip of my brush and put that in through my crease to blend the whole look in together. Now let's go in with my bronzer. Again, that Bobbi Brown Natural Bronzing Powder. And I'm just going to bronze the outer perimeter of my face, my forehead, my cheekbones. And this is where you'll kind of blend in that blush as well in case you put too much on or you find like it's a little bit too harsh. Well, then that bronzer helps to blend everything in. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on my chin and down my neck. And whatever's left on my brush, I like to just dust it over my nose. And now this part is amazing. You guys are going to love this highlighter. If you haven't used it already, it's that Mercier Matte Baked Powder that I was talking about that I used on my eyes. this stuff as highlighter, I mean, I already have a nice glow because I didn't powder my cheeks too much. But now when I put this highlighter on, can you see? I mean, it's so natural. And you can't, when you get up close, you can't see little specks of glitter. It's just amazing. I love this highlighter. So I put it all over my cheeks, above my brows as well, and a little bit on my nose. I don't do my lip because I find that sometimes it can look like I have a sweaty upper lip and it looks a little bit weird. So on a daily basis, I just don't even bother. Now, the second to last thing I do is I just pop on a little bit of brow gel, and that's all I do for my brows. If you want to go in with a pencil, go in with a pencil if you feel like you have a little bit of patchy brows and stuff. But if you, like me, just generally have pretty good brows, then just use a gel. This will help to kind of fill in any sparse areas, and especially it colors in those brow hairs that are lighter that you can't see, which helps to give your brows a fuller look. And this one is from Bobbi Brown. It's their natural brow shaper in Mahogany. I love this brow gel. I don't hear people talk about it, but I swear it's the best brow gel ever. So I'm going to go back into my eyeshadow where I had that transfer of mascara. Now that my mascara is probably dry there, I'm just going to flick it off. And there, it's gone. That easy. You just flick it off with your shadow brush. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer actually, and dust this on my bottom lash line. Now that my whole makeup is done, look at the difference that that makes. That just makes my eyes look bigger, a little bit more defined. I always feel like this makes a huge difference to my look, so I do always put a little bit under my lashes. Now here you can put mascara on your bottom lashes as well, but today I don't feel like doing that. I feel like going for a more natural look, so I'm going to leave that. Now the last thing I do on a daily basis is a little bit of lipstick. So I love this Clinique lipstick. It's the Plum Pop Clinique Pop lipstick. This is quite a bright pink, but the thing is I have quite pigmented lips, so I need to go for a more bright color for it to look natural on me. So I actually think this pink is quite a natural pink for me, although for a lot of people it's probably quite strong. And I will just like dot that on a little bit, blend it in with my lips, and that is my lip color. I don't tend to reapply my lip color during the day. That's just a weird thing of mine. I am obsessed with chapstick, and I put chapstick on constantly during the day, so I don't actually reapply my lipstick, but at least I start the day off with a nice color on my lips, even though it fades away towards the end of the day. All right guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys like it. This is the makeup that I wear on a daily basis for work. So it's the makeup that makes me feel confident, put together, ready to take on the day, but it's also the makeup that takes 5 to 7 minutes. I can pretty much do with my eyes closed. Now, one thing I wanted to mention was that I don't cover my skin to perfection. So you can still see my pimples that I have right now, my scarring, and I'm okay with that. I actually feel more confident and I feel like it looks prettier if I let my imperfections show through and make my skin look a little bit more natural. And yes, natural in my case means imperfect, and that's okay for me. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know down below what are your products that you use on a daily basis. I'm really interested to know if it's the same as mine or if you inspire me to possibly look out and buy some more things. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I will catch you in my next video.